Lionel, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Gentlemen, you two, Scott.
Turn off the cam here.
Yeah, turn off the cam.
Turn off the cam.
He's talking while we're on the air. He's already come into the studio. He's already come into the studio and he's talking. Well, you might as well keep talking now, Mike.
Security let me in. What can I say?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a chat with that new guy.
Apparently, they didn't recognize your picture.
Oh, did the new guy show up?
No, he's not a new guy. He's just a guy.
Oh, he's just the guy.
Mike is just a guy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy that let him in.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the new security guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the new security guy. I hadn't met him.
I'm still a little.
Don't get too attached from me. Be guns. So.
Yeah. I actually had an employee meeting last week, and I gave them specific the two new people were given, not new as in less than a year. We're given specific instructions that you're not doing this. We told you to do this. You have to do this. You have to do it at least every day. Blah, 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 blah. Very next day, nothing.
Oh, you didn't give them the rules book?
And you're thinking to yourself, we just sat around eating pizza and sodas and had a great time and a discussion, and the older employees.
They remember all that, Lionel. They remember the pizza and the drink. They just don't remember what you talked about.
Apparently not. Nothing. Nada. Zip.
Not
zilch.
Nothing.
Did you pound your head on the wall for a while?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't break any phones, though.
That was my next question. Did you break a phone? No.
It's been years since I did that. And we still have an ample supply of those phones. It's a really old system, but nobody will replace it because... So, Mike, one time... So, the people we have here is Bruce, the moderately agitated mailboy.
That's me.
The table master, a.k.a. Scott Lister, a.k.a. the Duke.
Take your pick.
And we also have Mike Hauk. It is Mike, right?
That is correct.
And it is Hauk.
It is. You got that right. It didn't take long. It didn't take long.
It only took a couple of years. I think even on a podcast you haven't listened to yet, I'm still probably saying it wrong. It just looks like Hauk to me, but it's Hauk. You're not. You know what it is. You're probably not pronouncing it right.
Well, it could be. I don't know. I've heard it different ways my whole life, but anything's possible.
At least your name is not easily identifiable as how to pronounce it, but it's only 4 letters. So when you're trying to explain it to them, you only got to spell out 4 letters. I feel sorry for like Stemkowski or Stemlikowski, those people.
Yeah, really.
With the 10 and 12 letter. I mean, my name is 6 letters, and it's like, that's bad enough, but.
Or like my wife's maiden name, Chassereau.
Yeah. Now now you're just trying to impress us. Now you're just trying to impress us. Okay.
I know.
So what's new, Mike? Anything new?
Oh, geez, what's new? Well, I was telling
you were talking pre-show.
I was talking we had quite the chat.
Oh my God.
Where were you, Lionel?
I was busy. I was doing stuff. I was in the back room sorting through some of the reel-to-reel tapes fell off the shelf, and I had to.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
What were you talking about?
Moving.
Well, yeah, moving. Yeah, I spent the weekend. We spent the weekend bringing moving my son-in-law, my daughter, and the grandkids up from the Eastern Shore of Maryland. He took a teaching job much closer to home here, so instead of a 10-hour drive now to go visit him, it'll be an hour and 20 minutes. But we drove down there Thursday, helped him finish packing up. His parents came down too, helped out. Loaded a 26-foot U-Haul, the biggest one they made. And then yesterday, I lost track of the days. Yeah, yesterday we drove up 10 hours. And then today, his parents came up from Pittsburgh. We unloaded the damn thing into our house. And I'm kind of tired.
They're moving into your. They're moving. Did you know they were moving into your house?
Well, temporarily. The thing.
That's what he says now. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No, it didn't line up. He starts the school year next week, but they can't get into their apartment they're in temporarily till next weekend. So, and then once the school year starts, he's stuck. They wouldn't have time to move. So they said, well, can we store some stuff at your house? Sure. Why not? So we got stuff everywhere, but we got it all in here.
So are they storing some stuff or are they storing all the stuff?
Oh, yeah. We divided up into two piles. One goes to the apartment. The other one is going to be stored. I don't know if it's going to be here or if it gets close to winter, they might have to rent a storage unit. Because my wife is adamant. She said, when the snow starts flying, I'm parking my car in the garage. So you're going to have to get
good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's never. That's what it is with kids. Someday my son will pay me rent. I don't think so, really. I don't think it'll ever happen. And really, can you blame?
You can always hope.
Can you blame him? I mean, seriously. It's his old man. He knows I'm a soft touch, so it's like, why bother? I wouldn't either if I was in his situation. So. Kind of reminds me of the time my dad got my first car for me. Well, it was his 67 Ford F-100, I guess, with West Coast mirrors. It was a sweet ride.
Nice.
And
that's the one you drove to high school?
Yeah, that's when I drove to high school. And so when I turned 16 and a half, or I was not long after 16, he says, I'm going to buy myself a new truck. He says, I'll sell you this one. And back then it was probably like, I don't know, a couple of $1,000 or something. And he says, but you got to pay me. And I'm like, yeah, I will. And I'm going to pay you. I had a job. And he says, you got to pay me probably $10 a week or something. I think I lasted maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
You made an effort.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I lasted a month and a half. Who knows? But deep down, we both knew it was never going to happen.
Oh, God.
It was a sweet truck, too. I put baby moon.
I bet it was.
I painted the wheels white. I took the wheels off and painted them white. Then I put baby moons on them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I put a tack on the dash. He wasn't too impressed with that because I had to cut a hole in the dash. That was right at the time when they started putting some sort of foam on the dash. So you wouldn't be slamming your head off.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
That is right. That is about the time, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you think I was making it up? You've been yelling at me all day, Scott.
No, not all day. Just some of the day.
All right. So the reason we're all here, give it time. The reason we're all here, Mike, is because this is an introduction into your version of the Kelly questions.
Oh boy.
That I believe was recorded probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was probably September 2019, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Was it?
It was a while ago.
And how did it go?
I thought it went quite well, if my memory serves, but I don't know. It was a while ago.
Sounds like we may find out soon.
Where did you find it? I mean, it was.
I found it behind the cabinet too. Yeah,
it's back in the corner with the spider webs and those half-empty, rusty paint cans. Right, that's where it was.
Well, it was some of those reels that fell off today.
Yeah, that's what it was. Some of those reels that fell off today, and I thought, hey, what's this?
Mike, Kelly questions. Oh, that's where that is. Yeah.
Well, you know what it was? For a while there, I didn't think people were that keen on them. And then people started saying, no, we really, really like them. It was April of 2020.
Wow.
So
that's
two
some
and
time
a
ago.
bit years ago. Wow.
2.5 years ago, yeah.
Does that still count?
Is there an expiration date on it?
Yeah, that's right. Does it still count?
No, because he keeps the tapes in the freezer so they're fresh.
No, it was October. Right. It was October of 2020. So it's coming up to 2 years.
2 years.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's just 2 years old now.
Okay.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Does it still count? I like that. Well, you know, I got a couple of new questions, so I was thinking I'd bounce them off you. Just to see where we were at. I don't think you ever answered this one. If you were going to use cereal to simulate an open load in a scale 70-ton hopper, what kind of cereal would it be?
I'm I don't know. Cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, we find
Holy moly.
Yeah, we find Rice Krispies are a popular one.
Rice Krispies. There you go.
Yeah, cream of wheat isn't that
Cocoa Pops.
Cocoa Puffs or Pops. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah. I was thinking cream of wheat. That would make it good. Maybe what kind of way?
Like if you didn't cook it and just poured it in there, it could have been like.
It would be flaky.
Yeah, like a coal or something. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could.
Yeah, man, that's
different.
That's out there, huh?
Yeah,
that's a good.
That may be one of the worst answers we've ever had.
No, but I mean, it really makes the brain.
Well, at least he came up with something. No, he didn't fall into the old mold of Rice Krispies or Cocoa Puffs or grape nuts or something like that. He came up with something original. So,
and it wasn't Cheerios.
That's true. Good point. All right. How about this question then? What is your favorite spoken word song?
Favorite spoken word song.
This question is really. I'm sorry, I cut you off there, but you're used to that. This question is really kind of thanks to Tony Cook.
Okay.
Because he's kind of, an aficionado about everything. Yeah. And him and I got talking one day, and I said Ringo, which was by Lorne Greene in 1964. That's a classic.
Let's try this one on. How about The Tale of Bilbo Baggins by Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah, that's I've heard that. That's the second time I've heard that.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Bilbo. What was it? Bill who?
I think it was The Tale of Bilbo Baggins or something like that. Leonard Nimoy. From that hit album by Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah. From his hit album.
The big hit album.
Yeah, the big hit album. Okay, how about this? Are eyebrows considered facial hair? You're a doctor. You should be able to whip this one.
This one's crazy.
I would say yes.
Okay. Now, are you going to be one of those old guys where you let the eyebrows just grow and grow and grow, or are you going to keep them trimmed?
No, you got to keep them trimmed because they get too bushy and they rub under my glasses and make them all greasy in the corners. So.
Well, and they also make you look like an old guy.
Well, mine kind of curl up, and it looks like I have two mice stapled to my forehead. So.
How about you, Bruce? Do you trim your eyebrows?
When I go and see Vince the barber, he trims them up when I get my hair and beard done.
I went by there. I was going to go by there today and make an appointment, and they're closed today. What about you, Scott? When you get older, are you going to trim your eyebrows?
No, I'm going to let them go.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Just like wings and
that's a Southern thing.
Yeah.
Like eyeball mustaches.
Yeah.
When you notice your wife seems to have no interest in you, you might want to trim your eyebrows.
Yeah, she'll tell me.
What? Whether she has no interest in you or just trim your eyebrows?
Both. I think the no interest is already there, but the eyebrows are coming.
Okay, well, so Mike, before you lived in Erie, Pennsylvania, or near Erie, Pennsylvania,
right?
But you seemed like you were really offended by that.
Oh no.
Okay,
it's good.
Are you still mad at me that I didn't reply to your text about coming down for the operating session?
No.
He's probably glad.
I figured you were on the road, back and forth. Hey, I thought, because we were shorthanded. I'll text Lionel, see if he happens to be coming by. He can stop in here for the op session. And
I was seriously considering going because it's only like 230 miles or something from my house. And, And I was seriously considering going, and we had started to have a conversation, and then I just got distracted somehow, and then I realized like a week later I'd never kept the conversation going, and I sent you one saying sorry. I let the conversation slide.
Well, that's okay. You're a busy podcasting guy, I know it's how it is.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a pop. It's not easy being popular.
Anyway, the invitation's open though. If you're coming through this way and you got time, you want to stop anytime.
I got a question for you. This is a good question. This is a question that the whole AML nation has to work on. Because I think it would be really cool to bring some AMLers past your place and have an operating session.
Sure.
But how would you ever decide which AMLers get to go?
Well, that's the trick.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
any more than I usually do.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, that goes without saying. But yeah, I don't know, because I got more guys that are interested in operating here than I can accommodate at any given time, and I can't have an op session every weekend. That just isn't going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. Lottery, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's an ongoing question that hurts my head, because there's lots and lots of people.
Tough.
It is, because there's lots.
You're going to hurt someone's feelings pretty good on that one.
I know. I don't really enjoy hurting people's feelings.
No.
Sometimes people take me the wrong way and their feelings are hurt anyways.
Yep.
But that's just, they don't understand me. And I don't understand me. All right, so here's the last question. So where are you born? Where were you born originally, Mike?
Springfield, PA, outside Philadelphia.
Okay. So this question should work for you, because it's still a Pennsylvania question. Who's the only player to hit a walk-off home run in the 7th game of the World Series?
I have no idea.
It was Bill Mazeroski, 1960, Pittsburgh Pirates over the New York Yankees.
Okay. Well, see, that was before I was born, so that's my excuse.
All right. Final score, 10-9. He was Bill Mazeroski was a second baseman that played 17 seasons for the Pirates. He was born in Wheeling, West Virginia, which isn't very far from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
On September 5th, 1936. His lifetime batting average, you want to take a crack at that?
258.
Wow, you looked at this one. 260.
No, I did not look at
Wow, that was pretty.
That was a wild-ass guess.
That's a pretty good guess.
He's only off by 2 points, but I guess you already knew that one, eh, Bruce?
Yeah. Let's go with that.
All right. Anyways, that's what we're here. We're here killing a bit of time before because your Kelly questions. The show is about an hour long, and I thought, hey, it'd be fun to talk to Mike before we do the questions and kill some time.
Sure.
Now, do we have to score the bonus questions or no?
That might be a help. I haven't got
or hindrance.
Yeah, I haven't got to. It's actually quite entertaining. I started listening to it, and it's actually quite entertaining. But
I think wasn't I the first to get scored in cheese ball equivalents or something like that?
I think you were. Yeah. I don't know where that went. Well, we haven't done the Kelly questions for a long time.
Where did that go?
Well, I just haven't done. I just didn't think it was that popular. And then people started.
That's what happens when you think. We know.
He stood there like a house at the side of the road and watched that one go by.
It was like I was listening to a podcast the other day that you were on, Scott.
And, no, don't start.
And I was singing some song, and I said something about my singing not being that good, and you go, well, obviously you wouldn't do it if you'd ever listened to the podcast.
He's fitting right in.
That guy's really not nice, is he?
No. And then you're okay. Hey, let's have this question, Scott, around the room. Okay. So you were listening to a podcast today where I was asking some manufacturer how many cars they make. Because I ask every manufacturer that because I always get the same answer.
Yep.
And you give me an example of why I shouldn't. And I thought
I'm thinking why they should answer the question.
Why they should or shouldn't?
Should.
Oh, should.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, because
I don't care if you know what I know.
Yeah. Well, and that was my the point I was making is so many of the manufacturers are crying poor. I'm thinking, well, then tell us, they're always saying how much tooling costs and this and that makes. And I'm always thinking to myself, well, then why are you in business? And now I'm probably offended some manufacturer. Whoever you are that I've offended, that's not my intention. I just
don't see what the big secret is, how many cars they produce.
I find that model railroading manufacturing is very secretive for some reason or other.
Yeah.
Now, Blaine Hatfield gave us a good reason for that. I forget what it was. Yep. But basically, it seems very secretive. But I guess what we as the general public don't realize is there are probably some manufacturers that can work with other manufacturers very well, and they're very trustworthy, and they treat each other with respect. But you only need one bad apple to ruin it for everybody.
Exactly. That's where the problem comes in.
Yeah. I see Bowser finally released their RS3s.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
A couple local guys got them. They're nice models.
Oh, I know those. Yeah, every model's a nice model nowadays.
You better believe it.
What am I going to do with all this S-scale flex track?
We're going to build a nice switching layout.
Are you coming on the second RS1 there? Have you still got
along? It's almost ready for paint.
Do you still have enthusiasm for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Man, I love building those things. I wish I could find 30 more kits.
I know. You're just a friggin' master.
Yep, those are the most fun kits ever to build.
Let me ask you a question, Scott, and I want an absolute honest answer.
Okay.
When did you think you first realized that you had a mechanical aptitude that you could kind of tackle any problem?
Oh, man. I haven't ever figured that out yet.
I know, but you just seem to be able to, like, it wasn't that long ago you were rebuilding the Model T, and you build houses, and you build this, and you build that, and, like, when did you realize that I couldn't drive a bus?
There was a day
about 1 second after you heard the crunch.
and it was just, I'm just wanting to sit here. Okay. And then what's this? Bam. Oh my God. We were just supposed to be like sitting around talking, not driving. But anyway, I don't know. I guess whenever I was younger and I was like, man, I'd like to have that, but I had no money to have it. So I had to actually do it myself. And that was basically it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's kind of cool those moments when you're a teenager and you realize you can do a certain thing. I remember.
Yeah, it really is.
I remember for me playing hockey, I was about 13 or 14 and I always played defense, usually right. And I had a clear wrist shot at the net and I just missed the right hand, just missed the top crossbar. It just went over the net and bounced off the glass, like just bang off the glass. And I could see a bunch of adults lean back and go, and I went, oh, geez, I think I got a pretty good wrist shot here. And then I started just wrist shotting everything.
There you go.
I didn't care if I hit the net. I just liked hearing the sound.
Yeah.
And occasionally it would go.
You figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you think we've killed enough time, boys?
I don't know.
What's the clock say?
24 minutes.
We're just getting warmed up.
Do you stretch out to 25 and call her good?
Well, you know what I was thinking. After this, we could do like a segment. We could ask Mike a question and do a little segment for All-Star Variety Hour.
Oh, there you go.
That would be cool.
I actually have a good question for Mike too.
Oh, wow!
Stay tuned.
So why don't we save it for an All-Star Variety Hour?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I have two things I want to tell you, Mike.
Okay. All right.
Whether you like it or not.
You're the boss.
Yeah.
Can we try to remember that?
Yeah. Somebody please write that down.
Yeah, somebody write that down. Okay, Mike, you know what you need to do to go from one segment to another?
Subway chime, go.
Bruce?
Oh, yeah. Hello. Yeah, sorry. I was sleeping. That's what I was doing.
Yeah. You're on.
I was resting the back of my eyes.
Yeah, you had put your entire body on mute.
Yes, exactly.
You were on mute.
It's funny how now that I'm not on mute.
Yes. However, now that you're not, do you remember a long time ago in the spring
when the earth was green? There's more kind of animals you've never seen.
Yeah, exactly. What song is that from? A long time ago in
the green alligators along the unicorn song by the Irish Rovers.
There you go. That's what it was. That was a great song. Now here we are on Musical Corner.
Yes,
Irish Rovers was a great TV show.
Yes.
Was that just a Canadian show, or was that a North American show, or what was that? I
remember looking at this once before we were talking about. They were Canadian. I think they did some syndication as well.
That is a question I'm constantly looking for questions to stump Tony Cook with. Tony Cook, who is the editor of Model Railroad News and also AKA the Human Encyclopedia when it comes to entertainment, showbiz, trains, and a lot of other subjects. I'm constantly the other day we were talking about spoken word songs.
Yeah.
And he came up with two. One that Lauren Green from a Bonanza called called Ringo, 1964.
Yes, I've heard Ringo.
Yeah. And then the other one was Wink Martindale, who is a game show host. He had one about a deck of cards, a Marine a Marine that had a deck of cards in church.
I would have never guessed Wink Martindale would have been in that kind of media. So I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, you got to look that up because it's just about as bad as it's supposed to be. Oh, and just George.
And of course, at the same time, I'll have to look up Super Train to keep Tony happy.
Yeah. Anytime you look up anything, you have to look up Super Train. Well, you know what it was today. Why did he leave? Why did you go out of the studio, Boy Wonder? Did you hang up or something?
No, it's just an accident. I didn't mean to. I closed Chrome by accident.
You're closing tabs and hit the wrong one. I've done that.
I think so, and I didn't notice until I just sat back down and I went, "Oh, where'd the window go?" Oops.
I'm not the only one, thankfully.
Oh no.
So anyhow, what do you know about spoken word songs?
Yeah, what's your favorite spoken word song?
Spoken word song?
Yeah.
I actually think I do know some examples, but I can't think of them right now.
Well, anyway, here's one. Wouldn't Convoy be a spoken word song?
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
And Wolf Creek Pass, that's got to be a spoken word song.
Yes and no. Most of it would be, but then like the chorus was definitely.
I would say One Piece at a Time by Johnny Cash has some spoken word in it too.
Yeah, but we were thinking of Ring. Do you know the show Bonanza?
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I used to watch Bonanza with my dad all the time. In addition to. Bonanza, we watched The Little Ranger, we watched
what'd you say,
Gunsmoke.
The Little Ranger?
Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger.
You're thinking the little hobo. The little hobo.
And then my favorite was Have Gun Will Travel.
Yeah. Do you know of the show Irish Rovers?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, I'm trying to find something to stump Tony Cook with.
Oh.
Anyways. Do you guys remember
Pig and Whistle trivia?
Yeah, Pig and Whistle trivia. Yeah, that's right. They were at the Pig and Whistle pub, weren't they?
Yes.
Oh man, I could maybe get him with that.
Find a playlist of songs best plays on recorder.
He
probably knows that.
Tonight he hit me with in an episode of BJ and the Bear, Slim Pickens and the woman that played the housekeeper on 2.5 Men played a pair of bad cops.
And
I'm
really?
Like, yeah. Like he had that right there.
That was Conchita Ferrell. She just died today.
Yeah. That's how he got onto that subject. Okay. But I mean, how does anybody know that?
Tony knows. Tony be great for being on your team for Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Tony, I'll just sit back here and watch. Take her away, pal. Yeah.
We actually used to play Trivial Pursuit against a guy. We knew him, a family friend. And it would be 3 of us against him. That was the only way we had any chance of beating him, is if there's 3 of us against him. He knew,
and he'd still kick your ass.
Yeah, he'd still kick our ass.
Well, but I now, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Seeing as one, you woke me up, then we let Boy George back in. Is there a purpose to us gathering here right now?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just a short, quick pod. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Remember back in the spring of 2021? We interviewed a guy named Michael Hauk.
Hauk.
Yes. Hauk.
It was Mike, right?
It was Mike. Yes, it was Mike.
I think it was Mike, not Mick.
Yeah.
Yes, Mick's another guy.
Yeah.
Who lives up in Ottawa by George.
It wasn't Mick Oak.
Mick Oak.
Not Mick Oak.
No. Hauk. Anyways, remember that was the spring of 2020. Man, that year 2020, that was
quite the one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a ride and a half, wasn't it?
I would describe 2020 as yeehaw.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
about it.
I'm not going back there. We got to be at least 9 months out from it, and it still hurts. Okay. So, anyways, we interviewed Mike Hauk, who is a fellow that lives in just outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. He has a beautiful model railroad, the Susquehanna and New York Model Railroad. New York Railroad. What did I say? Susquehanna. I have it right here. Don't tell me. Just everybody calm down. It's the Susquehanna and New York Railroad. And he was he's listened to the podcast since the beginning. So, anyways, we decided we'd get him back in here. He's been in the green room now for about a year and a half. So we thought we'd get him back here in the studio here, and we'd give him the Kelly questions. What do you think?
Sounds like a great plan.
Sounds like a swell plan.
Hey, you know what our first question should be?
What's
that?
What's your favorite spoken word song?
Oh,
there we go.
Not bad.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody go get him.
George, go.
All right, I'll go. Hey, Mike, we're ready for you again. Are you still alive in there?
Yeah, I was just taking a little nap here.
Did you eat the green shrimp?
No, I couldn't leave though because they wouldn't validate my parking, so I couldn't leave.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I hope the paint buckets were comfortable.
Well, Mike, you've been asleep for almost a year.
Wow.
We'll just call him Rip from now on.
It's not 2020, is it?
No,
Please tell me.
No, that's in the rearview mirror now, buddy.
Thank God.
We've left that long behind.
That's disappearing in the rearview mirror. You know how when you're going down I-79 towards Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's you're down to about Meadville by now.
Oh God, that stretch between Meadville and the McCain exit, God, that is like a black hole. That takes forever.
It is, especially if it's snowing.
Oh God, yeah.
But here's a little tip for you. Oftentimes when I'm going down there, I'm careful to observe the speed limit.
Yeah, there's some smooth pavement down there.
Yeah, there is.
Smooth, straight pavement.
Smooth.
Conducive to speed performance?
No, it's conducive to observing the speed limit.
Okay.
Yeah. My wife has an X5. I know who has the X5. That's
Hard Part.
Hard Part. Yeah,
my wife. La Fonda. Does your wife name her car?
It was named the Precious Baby for a while, but that kind of.
Oh, wow. Did she drive it all over the place? Because Hard Part won't drive his anywhere.
Oh yeah, it's her daily driver. Yeah, after 20 years of driving a minivan, kids to soccer and all that kind of stuff, I promised her a nice ride, so we got her an X5. That's a nice ride. That's a nice ride.
What's your daily driver?
It's a Tacoma.
That's a sweet ride.
Oh, nice.
Taco.
Yeah.
We like tacos.
Yeah, it fits in the garage, so I don't have to park it outside. I used to have a couple of F-150s, and I had to park them outside, and that got tiresome in the winter.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, Mike, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you a series of hard-hitting questions. Oh, before we go forward, what's your favorite spoken word song?
I think it's Leonard Nimoy's Legend of Bilbo Baggins.
Wow. Nice one.
Good answer.
Yeah, great answer. Do we even need to ask him the question? Should we just give him a score and call it a day?
Are we going to the cheese ball scoring system now?
Yeah, let's try the cheese ball scoring system today. Just
for difference.
Yeah.
It should make the ciphering easier.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that was that answer they pulled out of the air. That's at least a 7 or 8 cheese balls.
That could be.
I'd say so.
I think I already know my score. Okay. All right. So
just go to the end and get the score.
Yeah, let's just go right to the end and skip all the questions.
You can take the tinfoil hat home. We'll sign that for you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you put on that tinfoil hat, sit down in that metal chair, and we're going to ask you a series of hard-hitting questions that give us an insight into your life, as far as strictly in model railroading.
Oh, okay.
Or railroading.
I stood up under interrogation by Catholic nuns. So do your worst. Bring your A game.
All right.
The Penguins.
Yeah, and just to remind everybody, Mike is former. He's a doctor. He was in the Navy. He lives outside Erie, Pennsylvania. He has a beautiful model railroad. 3 kids. I think that pretty much covers it. Well, what's your favorite NFL team? What's your team?
Oh boy, I don't watch a lot of sports. My wife's a sports fan. I have to pick.
Well,
how about?
No, never mind.
Never mind. Okay.
Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Steam, absolutely.
Any particular steam engine that you prefer?
One that's under steam. No, I don't like the one stuffed and mounted in a park someplace. I want to see them run.
Okay. All right. Do you have a particularly favorite scenic railroad that you go to these days?
Strasburg's pretty close. Been there a couple of times. That's a nice short ride.
Yeah. How far is it from Erie to Strasburg?
That's probably a good 5.5, 6 hours, I think.
Yeah. Would it cross 80?
Yeah, you go down 79 to 80, cross 80, and then down 15 or 81 maybe to the Harrisburg area.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite prototype railroad?
Susquehanna, New York, but I'm a Pennsy man at heart.
Well, pick one.
Susquehanna, New York.
And I thought this was going to be easy as the cheese ball scoring.
Yeah, and now it's getting all screwed up already. I'm getting the cheesy dust all over me. How can you be a Pennsy man?
I'm down to 9 out of 9 cheese balls because I ate one.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh no.
I don't think you're going to need that many.
Yikes.
So you're a Pennsy man at heart. What does this all mean? You're a Pennsy man at heart, but you model the Susquehanna in New York. Explain, please.
Well, I had relatives that worked for the old Pennsy, and so I got a soft spot for the Pennsy, but I'm modeling the Susquehanna in New York.
How did you end up modeling the Susquehanna in New York?
It was up near our hunting cabin, north central Pennsylvania, and when I was a kid, I found out there used to be a railroad that ran through the woods, and it was all covered with pine trees, and I just thought that was a cool thing. And when I started researching it, I started collecting stuff, and I thought that would be a more manageable prototype to follow. And since nobody knew anything about it, nobody could contradict me if I made any compromises, unlike the serious Pennsy fans who'll rake you over the coals if a rivet is out of place.
That's a good point. And okay, so technically you've been a Susquehanna and New York Railroad modeler since you were a wee lad.
Yeah, since I was probably 12, 13, somewhere in there.
That's pretty cool. So for about 70 years. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Seems like forever.
If you were rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Ooh. Ride on them if I can be in the cab or the dome car.
All right. What if you can't be in the cab or the dome car? Do you understand the general idea of questions? It's like we ask you.
These are hard.
Well, they're not multiple choice.
Nobody said they'd be easy.
Yeah, when we sat
I believe the phrase was hard-hitting questions.
It's not like you were lobbing up batting practice pitches to you. We're talking 95-mile-an-hour heaters coming in high at you.
Yeah, this is serious stuff. I guess ride. I'll answer ride, and I'm sticking to it. That's my answer. I'm sticking.
Just remember, Mike, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Something O'Houlihan. What was the guy's name that said that?
Wasn't it like Pat O'Houlihan or something like that?
Paps O'Houlihan, or what was his name? What was his first name? Paps O'Houlihan. Well, now you got to look up dodge a wrench or a ball. Somebody look that up.
I want it.
If you could time travel to a particular model railroad era, or a railroad era, where would you go?
Early 1930s.
Okay.
The classic heavyweight era.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And necessarily someplace probably in the Northeast.
Probably either the Broadway Limited on the Pennsy or the 20th Century Limited.
Yeah.
On the Central.
I bet
someplace with heavy china in the diner. I'd order a steak.
Yeah.
And a couple of fingers of scotch, and I would watch the scenery go by on clean white linen.
Yeah,
that's the way to go.
Now, here's a question for you, Mike. Would you think that, because of course, the 20s and the 30s was a really interesting time for railroads, but do you think that the trains would have been more prominent, especially with because of course they were making pushes to bring passengers on. So there was the dining cars and, like you said, the china and all the fancy stuff that went along with it. Do you think that would have been more prominent post or pre-Depression?
Probably pre-Depression. They probably started cutting back on some of those amenities, but not the first class trains, though. I think if the first class trains were still first class, right through.
Fair enough. And I mean, I'm not an expert on the Pennsy at all, so that makes sense.
And I think riding the passenger trains in the 30s and 40s, when the movie stars used to do it and all that, just be an incredibly romantic, exciting time if you could go back to that time. So that's a good choice. Patches O'Houlihan was the ADAA champion.
Yes, I was going to say.
And became a dodgeball coach. A renowned dodgeball coach. Let's move right along here. What was your first model train?
AHM set with a circle of brass track and the AHM Sea Liner and Santa Fe war bonnet.
I wonder why there was brass track. Why brass? Because brass is not a particularly good conductor of electricity.
That's all you had back then.
I understand that. And what was the advent? There you go. We got to do scale legends again, Bruce. What was the advent of nickel silver? I wonder who came up with that.
It started coming out in the, I'm thinking you see more and more in the late 60s, early 70s. But up until then, when you first started, your first flex track was Atlas on fiber ties, a brass rail. The first snap track was all brass. I remember the first train set I got in the mid 60s would have been, Atlas snap track brass. And then finally, nickel silver became more common and popular. It still oxidizes, but it's conductive. It non-conductive like brass does. So it's in the 70s. Nickel silver really took over.
Yeah, I can remember. I actually have a memory of my dad going, "Man, we got to try some of that nickel silver." Favorite model railroad scale?
Scale HO.
True or false? End scale is dead.
No, but end scalers they just smell that way.
That's a good one.
I'm reaching to the big ball of cheese balls to get another one out.
I'm kidding. One of my best friends is an end scaler. I've been waiting to use that one for a long time.
Well, good time to pull her out.
Yeah. Wow, I can't top that. Well done. We'll just stick with that.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, that was. That one's
points
gone.
Have been earned.
That was gone right off the crack of the bat.
That was like Ed Olszewski's Understanding Women.
Yeah, exactly. I got to take a little break here, gather myself. Think of things that I shouldn't say. Okay. Favorite model railroad?
Oh, boy. That would have to be the V&O.
I know, eh? You talked in your interview about the V&O series in Railroad Model Craftsman. I feel so fortunate that I got to become reasonably good friends with Alan McClellan. I feel now I forced my way in there, but I got to be good friends with Alan McClellan, and I feel so fortunate. It's really one of the high point. I would say it's one of the high points of my model railroading life is that I got to be friends with Alan McClellan's.
Yeah,
and we had a chance to operate the V&O.
And we had a chance to operate. He was very gracious. He was happy to have us come.
It was a great day. That was.
It was.
Yeah, I was fortunate to operate a V&O train. That was a bucket list thing at the Mid-Central Convention when I was in Cincinnati a couple of years ago. Jerry Albers had his layout open for op session, and I guess Alan had built a section of that to represent part of the V&O. And I was lucky enough to draw a train. It was a V&O train, but it had trackage rights over Jerry Albers' Virginian. So that was like, wow, I got to operate a V&O train. It wasn't on V&O rails, but it was a V&O train. That was awesome. That was just awesome.
I'm going to tell my story again now that we're on there. There was a national convention in Columbus, and there was going to be a layout tour in Dayton, Ohio. And somehow I had managed to convince myself. I had met Alan McClellan already because I had some association with Model Railroader by then. And I had managed to convince myself that when I told him that I was available to help him operate his layout on that day, that he would be like, sure, come on over. And I called and he was like, no, I'm good. We have enough operators. And I was crushed. So then, but about a half an hour later, I called back and I said, hey, I'll bring donuts and coffee for everybody. And he's like, no, we're fine. We've got all the donuts and coffee we need. And I said, no, like, I'll bring donuts and coffee. And how about if I just stand around and watch? And eventually he got the idea that the only way he was going to get rid of me was to agree to allow me to come over. And so I got my, 2 dozen donuts and I showed up and I was the first guy there. I wanted to make sure I was early. I was the first guy there. And he says, well, one of our operators isn't coming by, so you're going to have to fill in. So he took me downstairs. He showed me how to get the railroad going. He gave me a train. And he says, here, just run the train over the layout for a while, and I'll be back. And for like 20 minutes, I was running the V&O by myself with nobody else in the room. It was unbelievably spectacular. It was like a highlight of my life.
It must have been a euphoric experience.
It was, because there I was all by myself running the V&O, which I had, worn the pages out of the magazine looking at it. And it was just the greatest. And then a few years later, I got to run one of the very last trains before he took it out and moved on. All right. Now that we've talked about me for quite a while.
Well, it is your podcast, right?
Yeah. Who is or was the most influential model railroader for you?
It's got to be Alan McClellan.
Okay. And because of the series in the magazine?
Yeah, because of the series and the whole Beyond the Basement concept. And he was, I think, the first, not the first, I think, I forget the guy's name, in the 40s came up with that idea, but he was the first to implement it. I think got widely publicized. So.
Yes, it was a great, in the books and everything. Tony Custer did the hobby a great favor when he featured Alan McClellan so extensively. Select one of the following as your favorite: bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
Scenery, because when you get scenery done, it looks like you've actually accomplished something.
Yeah. Okay. And do you enjoy doing scenery?
Yeah. It takes a lot of effort. Like I said before, doing a foot or 32 square feet, you have to have the same 100 square foot of crap spread out to do it right. But
yeah, I understand you said it before, but that was like 9-10 months ago. So
that's hard. Right. That's right. Yeah.
It's hard for me to remember what you said that long ago. If you
remember what I had for breakfast.
What's that?
I said I can't even remember what I had for breakfast.
No, I can't remember what you had for breakfast either.
That's a shame. Guess I'm out of luck.
If you were going to use, and remind me next week when we go to have lunch, not to put ketchup on anything.
Lest we disturb the entire balance that is the email again.
Yeah, exactly. If you were going to use cereal to simulate an open load in a scale 70-ton hopper, what kind of cereal would it be?
Cocoa Puffs. To simulate taconite. How about that?
Cocoa Puffs to simulate taco night.
You didn't specify what scale, so.
No, I didn't. Exactly.
It's better than Chocolate Night.
Yeah, exactly. Chocolate Night, yeah. Tim Moore, there's a cereal now. Bruce, are you still here? He's on mute.
Yes.
You can always tell when Bruce is on mute because he's not interjecting. There's a cereal called Timbits, Timbit cereal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a little hard to swallow. I tried it, and it's not.
I know somebody else who tried, and they were greatly disappointed.
Yes, it was. If you could give, Mike, if you could give somebody starting out in the hobby just one item, and cost was no object, what would it be?
I'd have to say a DCC system. I think that is probably the largest cost hurdle for somebody that wants to get into the hobby. So I'd have to say that.
Okay. We have a lot of people that say a DCC system. That's a reasonably common answer. Any particular one now that you've been in the hobby and you've used yours, you have CVP products. See, I remember that from 10 months ago.
That's real good.
Yeah. Do you have one that which one do you think you would give somebody?
I'd probably say NCE.
Okay. No, that's kind of my favorite too. Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
Online, random places, eBay, online hobby stores. I don't really have a favorite or a go-to. Whoever's got what I'm looking for at the time, that's where I put the order in.
Is there any hobby stores in the Erie, Pennsylvania area?
No, not anymore. There's a small one up in Jamestown, but that's better part of an hour to get up there.
Was there a guy at some point that had one in the outskirts of of Erie?
Oh boy, I think there was one over in Wesleyville on the east side. I think he was mostly Lionel.
Okay.
There was one on the east side on 8th Street, but that closed a long time ago.
Yeah, all right. So, and if you're ever looking for different places to try, give Midwest, how is it? Why can't I say this? I don't understand why I can't say this. It's Midwest Model Railroad, and that is MidwestModelRR.com. And the reason we bring that up is because if you want any AML merch, they sell it. That is the exclusive distributor for AML merchandise, right there, Midwest Model Railroad. And after you buy all your merch, they got 11,000 other items right there on the website. So there you go. That was a shameless plug for Midwest Model Railroad. Did it seem shameless to you, George?
It does.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see. The next one is favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
Probably the Mid-Central Region Convention. I've had a lot of fun going to those in the past couple of years.
Okay. And how many years have you been going to those?
3. Well, I went to the one in Cincinnati, one in Youngstown. Let me think. There's a third one. I forget.
And how did you start going to those? Because you've been in your current location or 20 years, I think you told me, and been working on that railroad. What was it that spurred you to all of a sudden start going to the conventions?
Well, I got involved in our division, and they would have meetings for the division officers and that kind of stuff. And I thought, this would be fun. We'll try it out. Volunteer, help out with the convention, since we were at that time thinking about planning our own, see how it works, see how the sausage is made.
Right.
And it was a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of nice railroads and meet a lot of people. So it's been fun.
Would you say that's an untapped benefit for a lot of people if they join the NMRA, is these regional conventions?
I think it is. It's not for everybody because it is an expense. You got to take time out of your work schedule or whatever, and get a hotel room and all that, and that may be too high of a hurdle for some folks. But I think, for me personally, the benefits far outweigh that expense.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Regular.
Okay. Salty.
And not that hoppy stuff either. Dark beer.
What sort of beer would Mike be drinking? If Mike went to a Cleveland Browns game, what kind of beer would he reach for?
Oh, dark beer, porter, or Guinness if they've got that, or a stout of some kind. A meal in a bottle.
Here's a question for you that's going to sound incredibly rude, and I apologize in advance. And I don't think through the entire interview I insulted you, and I haven't insulted you for the first 30 minutes of the Kelly question. So all in all, for the amount of time you've been on the podcast, excluding the time that you may have been on promoting the convention, so that's like almost 2.5 hours. I don't think I've really insulted you yet. So, I mean, fair enough to me. I managed to make it this far. What exactly is the point of Erie, Pennsylvania?
It's so people traveling between Cleveland and Buffalo and Pittsburgh can stop and get gas and take a leak.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Erie, Pennsylvania is the pit stop of the nation.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's on the way to everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. All across the bottom. And it snows a lot.
It snows a lot.
Holy mackerel, does it snow there. Many times I drive back and forth to Florida, and I'll tell you, I'll be looking at the radar, and about the only place I got to get past is Erie, Pennsylvania. What was it? Was it about 2 years ago? I got as far west as like the outskirts of Erie, and it was just snowing like crazy. So I decided I was going to take a 2-laner and start heading south. And I started heading south, and it was just, I had to get like 20 miles south and then about another 20 miles southwest. And finally I got out of the snow. I never saw snow until I got to Erie, never saw snow after I left Erie, but holy mackerel. Like when it decides to snow on Erie, you might as well just hunker down. I bet. Do you have a snowblower?
No, I don't. I still shovel the walk for the exercise. We have a guy that plows the driveway, though. I got a plow guy. I got a plow guy.
Okay, you got a plow guy.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He's prepared. He's got a plow guy.
He's got a guy.
I got a guy.
I know a guy.
Yeah, he's got a guy.
Mr. Plow, that's his name?
Yeah. The plow dude. I don't know what his name is. my wife strokes that check. I don't know. I don't even know who it is.
Yeah, the plow dude. And your wife's name is?
Debbie.
Do you still remember your kids' names?
I still do.
They are?
Oh, Rebecca, Liz, and Chris.
Okay. Do you prefer salty or sweet?
Salty.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do you have one?
I got 2.
Oh, what kind of dogs do you have?
They are soft-coated Wheaten Terriers. They're a couple of miscreants, is what they are.
As opposed to the hard-coated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those hard-coated ones, you bump them the wrong way and the whole thing cracks.
Oh, yeah, it's just terrible. You got to glue them back together. It's just
what are their names?
Mosley and Wilson.
Okay, cool. How old are they?
Mosley is 6 and Wilson is 3.
Yeah, perfect. When you eat ice cream, this is a hard-hitting question. When you eat ice cream, do you prefer a teaspoon or a tablespoon?
A teaspoon, because it makes it last longer.
Exactly. That's my thought. Exactly. Like why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you got a big spoon, you're going to be shoveling more in, and it's like if you get a teaspoon, you're going to take smaller bites, and it's going to last another easy 15 minutes over what it would have lasted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bruce, teaspoon or tablespoon?
Tablespoon.
I know. Yeah.
But I use a tablespoon for everything. I use it for cereal. I use it for soup. Teaspoon is. I just don't use a teaspoon.
Well, next time you have ice cream, try a teaspoon.
Yeah.
Bruce, when you're reaching in the fridge and you've bought some ice cream, what's in there?
I'm usually pretty simple. I like the Kawartha Dairy's plain old vanilla is one of my favorites. Following that, it'd be the cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream from Kawartha Dairy.
See, now I don't understand the point of vanilla ice cream. I do not understand the point of vanilla ice cream.
Well, so you can smother it with chocolate syrup. That's the point.
All right.
I was going to say it's a receptacle for syrup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I usually have mine up with some pure maple syrup.
Wow. Well, that works too.
So you're going for the calorie counter special.
Exactly.
But
I'll have a diet soda with it.
Yeah.
That'll make you feel better.
Yeah, Mike, when you're reaching into the fridge for ice cream, what are you pulling out?
It's either Panda Paws or chocolate peanut butter, usually.
Oh, Panda Paws.
Yeah.
George?
I'm usually going for like a classic chocolate. I love chocolate with some fudge thrown in.
Yeah, chocolate ice cream. You can't go wrong with that. Coke or Pepsi, Mike?
Coke. Diet Coke.
All right. Favorite hot dog condiments?
I'm going to lose points on this one. This is bad. Very bad. Ketchup, chopped onions, and relish.
Atta boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw an extra few cheese balls your way on that one.
All right.
I can eat most of mine now.
Yep.
Down to one.
Yeah. Ketchup. Here's what I'm thinking, Mike. And I know you've listened to the podcast, but basically, you know what? When you at the age of 8, when you bought that AHM train set, that's when you should have stopped putting ketchup on your hot dog.
What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say? I got no excuse for it.
Yeah, as a medical expert, he's saying it's okay to put ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it's the lycopenes. The lycopenes, they're good for your prostate. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
16 ouncer.
Okay. What do you think God will say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Turn some elevator music.
That doesn't make sense. So soon? I don't know.
Yeah. Wrong door.
Wrong door. Yeah.
What's the matter? Get off the wrong stop.
Yeah. How many pairs of shoes do you own? Oh, this is interesting. We've never asked the doctor how many pairs of shoes they own.
I actually counted them up the other day. I think I've got about a dozen pair.
Wow, talk about being prepared.
Well, I mean, you got to count the gum boots to wade across the creek at the camp. You got my hunting boots. I got a pair of steel-toed boots when I'm hauling wood for the fireplace. I got grass cutting sneakers. I got sneakers to walk the dog. I got a pair of brown shoes for work. I got a black pair for work. I got a brown pair for dress going to church. I got a black pair of dress going to church. I got a pair of sandals for the beach. You start toting them up, and pretty soon you got a dozen pair or more.
Yeah, you are a happening dude. What hospital do you work at?
It's called Mill Creek Community Hospital. It's a small community hospital in Erie. We're trying to thread our way between the two behemoths that are in town: St. Vincent's, which is Highmark, and Hammett, which is UPMC.
Okay, what about Cleveland Clinic? Where does it fit in and all that?
They have not made inroads here. I think they have a loose affiliation with St. Vincent's, though. I'm not sure. I'm not up on the business side of it.
Okay. Here I am thinking. I'm thinking Cleveland Clinic, and then of course it's Erie. So what am I saying, anyways?
Yeah.
It's on your way to Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite kind of pie?
Blueberry, I guess.
All right.
Good answer.
Yeah, isn't it pie 2 squared or something, Bruce?
Yeah, pie or not.
Pie or square, kick around.
Yeah, pie or squared, kicking around. Okay, here's a tough question for you. It's the middle of the night and the smoke alarm goes off. No. You're sitting in your house, and you've been watching the wildfires for the last few days. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden your neighborhood has been evacuated. So you got to get out of there in a hurry. Which T-shirt do you grab on your way out the door?
I would grab my Pensy T-shirt because my AML shirt hasn't arrived from Midwest yet.
Wow!
I was about
I can say many
in the corner, but the nice.
I was going to say many cheese balls were added at that moment.
Yeah.
I play poker with a bunch of lawyers, so I've learned a few tricks.
Nice one.
Now he's going, Pansy. Save. He snagged that one out of his head for the top left corner.
Yeah. He went up the wall and just over it, and boom, he's got it. Head back to the dugout. Nice one. What's your favorite Bobby Goldsboro song?
Mama, don't scorch the cornbread. I know the answer. I've listened to the show.
Yeah.
Don't scorch the cornbread. What?
Well, not all your answers were great, so you might have been smart to just grab the points at that point.
Yeah, I should have. That's not cheating, right? If you know.
No, it's not cheating if you know the answer. Okay. Well, if you've listened to all the shows, if you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
I'd like to know what my wife is really, truly thinking about once a week.
Yeah, and the rest of the time you'll just take your chances.
Yeah, I'll just take my lumps the rest of the week.
Yeah. What do you think your costume would look like? What does costume look like? Thinking man. Good luck, man.
I think you look like Rodin's thinker, kind of sitting there.
In my tidy whities with a hole in the side. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You might be able to answer this question because you're a doctor. Spent your life in the medical field helping people, trying to push the human race forward. I think that's probably the coolest thing about being a doctor is you have the opportunity to try to push the human race forward. But anyways, why do you suppose? Why don't most superheroes have pockets?
Well, don't they have a utility belt? I mean, Batman had a utility belt.
Batman had a utility belt, but Spider-Man and Superman, these guys, they didn't have anything. They just had their underwear on the outside of their uniform, and that was it.
I don't know. Maybe
they had superpowers. They didn't need them.
Superpowers. Maybe they were using their prison wallet, if you know what I'm saying.
All right.
Bring some more cheese balls, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and Bruce was answering the question, and I'm thinking, well, you're not answering. You're not doing this.
Why are you talking?
Yeah, why are you talking?
Because, I've actually done the Kelly questions once in my life.
Yeah, exactly. George wants to do the Kelly questions, the boy wonder, but I'm not sure about that.
Does he?
Yeah.
He can't do it now. He's part of the staff.
That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm kind of stuck. You can't be a super fan. You can't be George. We got to get you on the. We had it. Uncle Dave Abeley's there a while ago. We got you. Have you ever had a brush with the law, Mike?
Yeah, I guess kind of. Yeah, administratively, I got sideways with the state medical board one time.
Oh, okay.
That's the big law.
It was an administrative thing. I just got out of the Navy, and I counted up my CME, my continuing medical education credits, and I thought I had enough. But the state was on a different cycle than the professional organization I belonged to, and instead of having 100 credits, I only had like 99, and they got real pissy about that. So I had to straighten that out and pay a small fine and make sure I had enough CME credits. But yeah.
And what state would that have been? Like if you're a doctor in, I'm assuming if you're a doctor in Pennsylvania, you're a doctor in any state in the United States. Is that basically it?
No, not necessarily. Some states have reciprocity with other states, so you're good to go. But some states you have to just get a separate state license. So I'm licensed in Pennsylvania and I'm licensed in Ohio, and they're separate. They do not cross over.
Oh, okay. All right. Who have you ever been on TV?
Not to my knowledge.
That's interesting. 60 years on the planet, never got in front of the big screen or the little screen.
No.
Oh, okay. Has your buddy Rob Bennett, has he done a video about your layout?
He'd like to. I told him to wait until I had more scenery done.
Okay. So you'd be on that. So, and if you put that on your TV, boom, you got that.
There I'd be.
Who's your best friend?
My wife, definitely.
And that's Debbie.
Yep.
And you just love to know what she's thinking once a week.
Just once a week. That's all I need.
Yeah, and then you might want to go, I wish I hadn't figured that out.
Maybe she wouldn't like it.
Yeah. What's your favorite zoo animal?
Meerkats.
Meerkats. Oh,
yeah, I love those little guys. When you go to San Diego Zoo with the kids, I'd stop and I could watch those little guys forever.
I think you're the first person to ever say meerkats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
Baseball, because it's in the summertime.
All right. If you could choose just one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Lions, the Toronto Maple Leafs, or the Ottawa Senators?
The Detroit Lions.
Tigers.
Oh, Tigers or Lions? Lions and Tigers are mine.
Lions, one's football, one's baseball.
Yeah. How about this?
They both kill me every year, but
yeah. Yeah, that must be your favorite NFL team too, eh, Bruce? Is the Lions?
They are. Yeah,
that was a legitimate question.
In fact, I bought my first New Era Lions fitted 5950 hat the other day. It's a beauty of a thing.
What size do you get?
I get 7 5/8 mostly, and sometimes that's too tight, and I get a 7 3/4, and it's too big. So I need like a 7 11/16. They just don't have those.
I can help you with the 7 3/4. I can fit that baby for you.
Yeah,
I can.
I have a weird head. I'm 7 3/8.
We got like a little cone head going or what?
Sure.
I have a giant melon. I'm 7 7/8. I literally have a giant melon. But the beauty of my head is it's actually shaped like the Darlington International Speedway.
The old paperclip.
Yeah. It's like that's not. That's Martinsville.
Oh, Martinsville's a paperclip. Okay.
Darlington is where one end is turns are smaller than the other end.
Yes.
So as I'm walking towards you, it looks like I have a normal sized head. But if you turn and look at me as I go by, you're going like, holy moly. Look at the melon on that guy.
There's a name for that, you know.
Oh, is there? Yeah, Darlington International Speedway.
I think it's. Let me think. I think it's plagiocephaly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Plagiocephaly. That just about describes me.
There you go.
So is there something wrong with me besides the obvious? Is there something wrong with me?
No, you just got a melon-shaped head.
We're doing the Kelly questions. I know the 3-hour interview.
Yeah.
True.
Okay, so a melon-shaped head is a plagiocephaly. Man, I wonder if Tony Cook knows that.
Well, throw that by him. We get him on.
Yeah. Okay. If you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, Would you prefer it to be Bruce the moderately agitated male boy, Lionel the evil overlord, or George the boy wonder?
Who weighs more?
I think Bruce moderately agitated.
I probably top the scales, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're just looking at long-term food supply. Thanks.
That's right. In case I have to resort to cannibalism, I want to know how long I can hold out.
Yeah. George likes XL size T-shirts, but he likes them skin tight.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could stand looking at that for.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, apologies, but yeah, I got standards.
I guess that means my wife doesn't.
And finally, Mike Hauk. Okay, you know what? The problem is, for a long time, it took me about 50 tries to get Abelese right, Dave Abelese, Uncle Dave Abelese. And finally, it's like I had no problem with Abelese, but it was Dave that I struggled with. So it's Hauk, right?
Hauk.
Yeah, see, it's gonna take me a while, and I apologize in advance. It's not because I don't care; it's just because I'm not listening.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, Hauk. Okay, I'll get it eventually. All right, Mike Hauk. What is your favorite podcast?
Why, the AML.
Perfect. What's the origin of Hauk? What's the ethnicity of that?
I think it's German. I think in German, if you spell it, it's Ha-A-U-K. That's how you pronounce the letters.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Are we ready to do the scores here?
I think so.
Who should we let go first, George, Bruce?
Let George go first.
All right. Even with the new scoring system?
Well, somebody's got to break it in.
You know what?
We'll see how he does, and then we may go back to the numbers.
You know what? I feel, let me handle this.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll go first. I got no problem going first. I was pretty happy. I kind of liked, how he was definite about Steam. I was a little disappointed. Struggled with favorite prototype railroad. The first 2 out of 3 questions, he was giving us multiple answers. Favorite prototype railroad. Well, I like the Susquehanna in New York, but I'm a Pennsy fan.
Yeah, that's when I started snacking on my score balls and go,
yeah. Would you rather be rail? Would you be rail fanning? Would you rather photograph or ride? Well, I'd ride if I could either be in the cab or the dome car. Well, so what is? There was a lot of that.
Which is it, and what happens if you can't?
Yeah, exactly. However, in fairness to him, when we got to the true or false end scale is dead.
That's a beauty there.
That was a great answer, and I was, I loved his favorite model railroad answer, of course, Alan McClellan. I was concerned about his select one of the following 70-ton hopper Cocoa Puffs. That was okay. I was doing okay generally, but of course, when he came up with his favorite hot dog condiments, he put ketchup there, and that just was like. So at that point, and he had a chance to save him. He had a chance to pick up points with the Bobby Goldsboro song, and he just decided he was going to cast that aside. So basically,
that one went like a wild left.
Yeah, that was like a guy throwing out the first pitch in a major league game, and he doesn't even get it to the home plate.
When the pitcher throws the ball, but the ball just like wraps around the back of his hand and falls on the ground.
Yeah,
jeez.
Or Bull Durham hit the mascot.
Yeah. So, anyways, after all that, I gave him a half a cheese ball.
There you go.
That's
yes.
I ate the other 9.5. So.
Oh, fair enough. I'll go next. So, like we were saying before, is the things with the first few questions, the definitive answers just weren't there. But we got to the bottom of it eventually. But there were some really high quality answers through that whole thing that just it would kind of like drop off, and then it would come flying back into center, and then it would kind of drop off and to fly back into center. So I'm trying to think of what was like the my train of thought left the station and I wasn't on it.
Can I score George and cheese balls here?
Yeah.
Anyway, what I ended up with after all my ciphering was a score of 3.5 cheese balls.
Wow.
3.5.
That's pretty good. That's a good score. 3.5 cheese balls. Are we still doing 100? Is it out of 100, Bruce, or is it 10 cheese balls?
I think. Well, this is what we never did, but I think it's probably nominally 10.
Well, yeah, but
that's what I thought, because you said you ate the other 9.5.
Well, I know, yeah. But now I'm asking a question. Can I ask questions? Can we? If this is our first time with cheese balls, can we not?
We were supposed to have the answers. It's your podcast.
Well, and I think I'm just about to come up with the answer. Wouldn't it be 100 cheese balls?
100 cheese balls, yeah.
Most of the time, it would give us something to snack on.
Yes, exactly.
How many with the same ratios, or are we gonna have to revise
how many are in the big jar?
I have no idea, but if it's out of 100 cheese balls, just like our score was always out of 100.
Out of 100. That's right. Yeah, good point. Good point.
I'm happy with my answer.
You're happy with your half
a cheese ball,
which is a solid cheese ball score, I suppose.
Absolutely.
Okay, well then I'll be happy with 3.5.
All right,
there you go. All right, so as with the others, the stumbling and waffling around the first few, I started snacking heavily on cheese balls. So right away, my total available cheese balls are down to about 90. Then a few more left, and then he started picking up some good solid answers. The end skill smells like dead. I was going, oh, good, but hot dogs, ketchup. Man, I was looking around for about 4 or 5 other big jars of cheese balls. Like people of the AML listeners seem to have mysteriously show up and deliver to them by Amazon, but I couldn't find any. So I'm still working on about 65 cheese balls after snacking. All said and done, I'm still pretty hungry. So in the end, 4 cheese balls.
Okay.
Oh, hey, that's a very respectable score.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thanks, gentlemen.
First time out with cheese balls. It's not bad.
That's a total of 8 cheese balls divided by 3. That's what's that? 2.66 is his average score.
Something like that. Yeah.
2.66 cheese balls. I'm liking that. That's a good score.
Yeah.
We could start a whole new scoring thing, cheese balls, and we could rank. What do you call it?
That's the official cheese ball of AML scoring.
Yeah. What do you call it when you change something? What's that word?
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
Well, we go back and we change all the scores to cheese ball scores. What do you call that?
Retroactively.
Retroactively change them.
Yeah. Yeah, but we could do that. But no, that's the old system. They're all done and passed, and now we're on the new cheese ball system.
Who doesn't love cheese balls? Actually, though, the beauty of cheese balls is with associating them with the podcast. It's really after several handfuls of cheese balls, you're sitting there going, "Why am I eating these?"
Exactly.
What am I doing?
Yeah, which works perfectly for the podcast because after several of them, you're thinking to yourself, "Why am I listening?"
Why am I listening? Yes. Yes.
I have wondered on many occasions why the container is so large.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, how do you think that went, Mike?
I'm pretty happy with that. I'll take that.
All right, that's good. Yeah. That was cool. So we're gonna have you. You're gonna have to be on the podcast again. I'm looking forward to helping you guys with your convention if we get a chance. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. What are your feelings right now about whether you're gonna? This is when we record this. This is a time beyond. This is just a different. It's not today. How about that?
Okay.
So what do you figure your chances are of pulling this convention on?
Oh boy, I still think it's 50-50. I'm cautiously hopeful, but
okay.
I don't know. It's in the hands of politicians, and so who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. You sound like a man with opinions. That's good. Opinions are good.
Yeah.
And Mike, let's not gloss over the fact that this is the official first round of Kelly questions scored with the cheese ball system. So congratulations, sir. You have that honor bestowed upon you.
Yeah.
I'm number one.
You are number one. Awesome. Number one in cheese balls.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I just thought of something. Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Bruce, could you give out our email address?
Yes, our email address. Please let us know how do you think of the cheese ball systems, and if you don't like cheese balls, maybe we should go to cheesies, but then they're not all the same size. So I think we have to standardize on cheese balls. They're more or less uniform. Our email address, which has nothing to do with cheese balls because there's no cheese balls in it at all. Modeler's Life, modelers with one L, modeler'slife@gmail.com.
Now, why do you suppose those other guys like Hard Part and Kelly and Kaylee and everybody else, when they give out the email address, they feel like they have to explain how many L's there are?
I don't know. Maybe they don't think our listeners are that bright.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's rude.
But we have it. Well, that's why I just give it. I know they're all intelligent.
Yeah, they don't.
But in case somebody likes it to be easier, Lionel's going to explain the solution.
Yeah, exactly. If you go to our website, amodeler'slife.com, and you scroll down not very far, if it's on your phone, I think it's like the second picture you'll see. There's a photo of the moderately agitated male boy in a particularly agitated state. And if you just click on that picture, you will automatically be able to send an email without knowing the address or anything. And all you have to do is fill in the title and the text, and we will anxiously sit by the computer waiting for your email.
Waiting for that. You've got mail.
Exactly. And we mentioned Midwest Model Railroad, where you can buy all your AML merch. So that's cool. We did that. I think we got it all covered now, don't we?
I believe so.
I believe we're good to go.
Yeah. And Mike, you get to keep the tinfoil helmet.
We'll sign it for you.
Yeah, we will sign it for you.
And we'll glue a cheese ball on top.
Yeah. That's
nice.
We should change the tinfoil. We should have it spray painted orange.
There's an idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Just imagine that by the time we hear this, Tom Stock 2020 will have come and gone.
That's mind-boggling and exciting.
Yeah, man, that 2020 year, that was a toughie. That was a long decade. That 2020 year.
Yeah, no do-overs, please.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, are you ready for the end?
I think so.
All right. So remember, A Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
left-handed cross-eyed radiologists.
Mr. Strang's wardrobe provided by The Dashing Camper. For all your fashion and tent repair needs, trust The Dashing Camper.
It's another Lincoln Homer.